Hello, hello, hello. It is time for another story time video. If you want to see more of these, drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and check out the Twitch channel because I am back to streaming after a 3-month hiatus. So, yeah, definitely go check that out, and yeah, let's just get into the story. Okay, so if you've seen some of my other stories, like the first kiss story at 4 years old, and the other stories, you would probably think that I was pretty decent with women or with ladies, girls, whatever you want to call it. But you would be dead wrong. I was crusty, I was dusty, I was musty, I was all of the things, man. I had no swag, and most importantly than all that, I wasn't very confident in myself, which you're supposed to be at 12 years old, honestly. And that's when this story takes place. 12 years old. And I would say for a 12-year-old, I had an average confidence level. But yeah, if you're confident in yourself at 12 years old, you're probably going to grow up and be a serial killer because you're just supposed to be insecure. That's just part of life. But like I said, this story takes place 12 years old and starts in English class. So in this English class, our English teacher she ended up getting sick and she had to take basically the rest of the year off. So for the first half she was there, and then after that she was gone. So we basically had serial substitute teachers. We had like some long-term substitute teachers who would stay for like a month, but for the most part it was like a new sub like every week, right? And as you probably guessed, we didn't learn much in that class. I mean, we would just walk around, be hanging out. You know how like when you're younger, it's kind of cool to not be sitting down for some reason. So yeah, I was just walking around for no reason, not giving a damn about class, right? And I see this guy, his name was Derek. Okay. Derek was one of the only other black kids in my school. At my school, it was mainly Mexicans with a little bit of white people, and then like me and two other black kids throughout the like entire class. So yeah, I was one of the only black kids, and me and Derek shared this class together. Me and Derek weren't necessarily friends, but we were like acquaintances. So we had that mutual respect because we were the only black kids, and this is kind of like the elite school again. So yeah, we both had like mutual respect for each other. So he calls me over, and usually what we would do, we weren't friends, but we would always hook each other up with like some Gatorade or some hot chips, something, just something, right? And I go over there, and he's like, "Oh, you want some Gatorade?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, man." And I waterfall the Gatorade, and I noticed he's sitting next to this girl, and she's this cute little redheaded girl with like brownish red hair and like a bunch of freckles on her face, right? And I noticed she was like staring at me, and I was like, "Huh, that's kind of weird," right? And then as I'm drinking the Gatorade, he's just like, "Oh yeah, hey, this is Ashley, and she likes you." And I'm drinking the Gatorade, I just spit it out, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, she likes you." And I'm like, "Yo, what?" In my head, but then I'm like my mind's like racing and stuff, like, right? But what I say in real life is I say just like this. I say, "Oh, I know he's lying. I know he's playing with me. Don't worry about it. It's all good, right?" And I just walk away. Act like nothing happened. Because at that point, I really didn't believe Derek wasn't a prankster or anything, but the idea of a girl liking me was so foreign at that age that I literally could not process it. So I was just like, you know what, he's probably playing. So I just dipped out, right? So from there, I didn't end up seeing that girl for about a month. But things started happening with the way I was going to and from school, and I started taking the bus. So on the bus, there were a couple of different routes, and it just so happened that me and Ashley were on the same route. So most of the days I would, the bus was about like a mile. The bus stop where the bus would pick us up is about a mile away from my house. So I would walk that most of the time, and it was uphill and it was hot. So it sucked. It sucked a lot. But while we were riding the bus, me and Ashley started talking, and me and this other girl named Sydney, we also were. It was like a trio of us, right? So we would all hang out, and then sooner than later, Ashley started giving us rides home. Her dad would pick us up, and he would give us rides home. And the first time her dad picked me up, I was actually really nervous because he was like this, like, kind of like redneck looking white dude with a big old truck, right? And I was like, oh my god, what is this guy? Like, should I get in the car with this dude? Like, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, right? But anyway, I ended up getting a ride from him, and he's a really cool dude, man. He would just honestly just ask me how my day was, and he seemed to genuinely care about like who his daughter was hanging out with and stuff like that, right? So he seemed like a cool dude, and he kind of said like he said something that like kind of stuck with me, or like made me think a bit more about the situation. Was he was like, oh, he said, I'm glad that my daughter is hanging out with you because you can like protect her or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting thing to say with this like random kid who's just like kind of acquaintances with your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know your daughter that well. Why would you say that to me? You'll see why in a second. So basically he was giving me, his approval, I guess, because I guess he knew that his daughter had a crush on me or whatever, right? So, like for a couple months he would pick us up and give us rides home and stuff. And it was real chill. He's a real chill dude and stuff like that. But then, his work schedule changed and he couldn't pick us up either. So basically, it was just the three of us walking home, and we all lived, real close by from each other. So we all did like the mile walk home, right? And on this mile walk home, we just started talking about stuff, right? And Derek got brought up, and basically, Ashley was like, "Oh, Derek, Derek has a crush on me." She said it just like that. She said, "Derek has a crush on me, and it's so gross." And I was like, wait, why is it gross? It's not a bad thing to ever find out someone like likes you, right? And then she was like, well, it's not a good thing if they're ugly. yeah, she said it's not a good thing if they're ugly, right? And I'm like, yo, she's brutal, dude. She's brutal, right? And also at this time, I was thinking, okay, this dude's black, right? So chances are, if she doesn't like him, you know what I'm saying, she probably doesn't like me. It's not the way it works, disclaimer, but back then I didn't know much about anything. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, he probably was messing with me that day, because it seems like she doesn't even like black guys, right? So that discouraged me a little bit, but she always seemed to want to hang out with me still, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. And one day in particular, Cindy wasn't there, so it was just me and her walking home, and we were just talking, chilling, being normal, right? And we ended up passing, because my house was before her house, and usually what would happen was I would go into my house, and then Cindy and Ashley would continue on their walk together, you know what I'm saying? But since Ashley was by herself, she's like, oh, I don't want to walk by myself. Maybe you could, walk me to my house. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything. So I was like, sure. So I ended up walking her to her house, right? And then, we're just talking, normal stuff, right? Nothing flirty, nothing out of the ordinary, right? And then we get to her house and we're standing outside her house, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow or whatever, Monday, whatever, if it was Friday, I don't know, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'll see you later, right? And she's like, well, my parents aren't home, so you can come inside and maybe we could hang out, yeah. And you know you don't know what that is. I mean, disclaimer again, I am 11 or 12 years old at this time, okay? She is 13, 14, because like I said, I'm always younger than the people I hang out with, right? So again, she's in another stage of life. What that means a completely different thing to her than what it means to me. But either way, this is my response, okay? I say, my mom's home and she's expecting me, and I say my mom's home, she's expecting me, and I don't want to get in trouble, right? And she's like, oh, okay, well, bye. And I just like turn around and I walk away, like, so I don't even say bye, right? Because, get this part, right? My mom isn't even home. My mom, my dad, my brother, any of my siblings, nobody's home. They wouldn't be home for another 2 hours. I just wanted to go home and play Mario Kart, basically, dude. So literally, I could have went inside and done something retarded with this girl, but basically, like, my love for Mario Kart saved my life that day. I guess. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I just think it's kind of funny that I turned that down for Mario Kart. Do I regret this decision? Hell no. I definitely would have ruined my life if I went in there, most likely, because like I said, I didn't know anything about anything. The funny part was I didn't even get to play Mario Kart that day. When I got home, the door was locked and I didn't have a key, so I just spent like 2 hours just outside trying to break into my own house looking like an idiot. But that's life. But yeah, basically after that, the vibe was just different. I think she had taken that like as like a rejection when it really wasn't, I guess. But basically after that, she was way more distant, and she didn't even want to talk to me, actually. She wasn't mad at me, but like the vibe was just done. The vibe was killed. Moral of this story, I guess it could be have confidence in yourself. And don't live life with regrets, I guess, because I mean, when I was like 15, I was like, oh man, I could have like had a girlfriend or whatever, or something, right? Something could have happened, right? But now that I'm older, really, I would have just ruined my life, honestly. I mean, I would have jacked my life up real good. But anyway, if you like this story, leave a like, comment, subscribe, like I said earlier. I'm gonna try and upload videos every other week, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Go check out the Twitch and Discord, and stay cool.